Hi everyone, another installment in the bedroom ensuite build. Just a very quick one today. I've been doing a lot over the last week. You're probably not going to see a lot because a lot of things are covered up now. But yeah, let's go. Okay, as you already knew, I had a TV bracket there. I've now got the TV on the wall. Just got the little right angle aerial connectors today for the cable. So we've got these little right angles here. I had the cable, but I didn't want them sticking sort of out here and then the cable backing up over the top. So I've got a couple of right angles there, so you don't see anything from the front. It's all nice and neat. In the bathroom itself, okay. Pretty sure I covered this in the last video. I've extended that wall out 90mm, which I needed to do because I needed to close up the gap between the two walls for the shower screen. So we've done that, and I obviously need to plaster it now, but I've pretty much got it set where I want it. Gone along with a straight edge from corner strip to corner strip, and obviously worked out where it was sort of a bit high, so sunk a few screws in here and in there and got it nice. So when I put the plaster, the wet plaster on there, that should all go on pretty smoothly. So put all the reinforcement strip around the edges, as you can see. Got one small problem, and I don't know why this has occurred. When I cut this doorway in, as I showed you in those early videos, I put an anchor bolt in here, but it had it was fastened via a ram set nail in that corner, so that was nice and solid. This one also had a ram set nail in the corner here, and it had a ram set nail just here. But what's happened, I don't know why, but the wall is loose on this corner. So what I've got to do is just probably take this strip off, because it only goes up to here. I can take that off, peel the insulation back, and I'll drill down and I'll put an anchor bolt in that to steady that up. Better to do it now, because obviously once heavy tiles are hanging on the wall, you don't want to move him. So what else? Cement sheet. So yeah, totally underestimated what I needed, I think, because it's a long time ago now since I bought all the the cement sheet for both the bathrooms. Now I may have only been able to get 10 sheets in the car at the time. Which I'm pretty sure that would have been the case, because I really even struggled to get them in widthwise. Lengthwise was no problem. Widthwise was the issue. So I think I only bought 10 at the time, but obviously I need more for in here. So I've calculated I need another 4 boards. What worked out really crappy is that the boards, it's long enough that way. The room's 1700, the board's 1800, so I end up with 100mm of offcut on the end. But I needed 130mm here. So what I'm going to do is take that 100mm offcut off there, and I've just put these in place for the moment, they're only screwed in, so I put those in just to get an idea, but I can take that 100mm and put something in cleanly along there. I may end up with leaving these 2 pieces on, because I need to make up 500 once that 1200 piece goes in. I need to make up the 500 to make up the 1700. So those 2 pieces might need to remain, but this and this can come off. So yeah, as you can see there, I've moved the power point, so I'm not going to have any power points here in front of the vanity. I touched on that in a few videos. I wasn't sure what I was going to do, and da 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 da. I've just decided that I'm going to put it here on the wall. It's just going to be so much easier. Just put it there. So it's just temporarily screwed to the wall frame at the moment, because obviously I've got to put the cement sheet on and the tiles, and then drill a hole through both the cement sheet and the tile to mount that. So that's been done and pulled back through. Plumbing turned out really good, really good. All my pipes now are secured in, but can be adjusted if need be. If there's a slight variation when the cabinet does go in, like a 1, 2, 3 mil either way, or up or down, I've got that adjustment to do it. It should be spot on, because as I said, this masonite is a replica of the cabinet. This where the black line is, that's the inside of the cabinet, and all the rest of it is obviously the back of the cabinet. So everything's pretty centralized. Very happy with the way it turned out. You may remember from the last video I touched on the fact that I had to move the hot water pipes down. Well, that was a really good thing. That neatened everything up. Very happy with it. Had one little accident the other day. Now, as you know, when I put this doorway in, when I filled this doorway in and I put framework there, I also had to, for this recess, I had to basically make it up out of bits and pieces, and then things changed direction, and you had a stud here, and then it changed, and there might have been the original door frame stud there, which obviously I cut through to be able to access this. Well, as you see, I mark my lines, and I pretty much, everything's gone really good. But I had one mishap. I went to put a screw in here, and I hit the pipe. I hit the PEX pipe, the one that comes off here, which is the hot water, comes down, and it goes through on an angle through the so this is the screw hole here, so it goes through a diagonal cut in the stud, and then obviously joins up down there. So as you can see, I've ended up working out where not to put a screw but after the fact. So what I did is I just took the PEX pipe off here. I cut along the piece of PEX pipe to go through there. So it finishes here finishes here somewhere, way away from the stud. I cut back the pipe that came off the bottom of this mixer, and I put a straight joiner in there. I think it cost me about $4.95, but it was a pain in the ass because I already had this bottom sheet on and I had the insulation on, so I had to take that off, cut the insulation, do the joining. The plumbing was the really quick bit. It was having to pull everything off and then put everything back on again. So yeah, I've set some tiles, some grey tiles in here that I said I was going to use in there, and they look really good. I'm very happy with them. I started to get a bit creative, and I thought, oh, maybe I should put a strip like around here as well, but it's just, yeah, nah, it's just, when you complicate things, that's when you're going to have problems. So yeah, as you can see, there's a few gaps here, but it won't really matter. I can put tile cement into these little sections. I would love it all to have butted up perfectly. Same up there. Would have loved it all to have butted up, but as you know, I always try and use my scrap, and yeah, I just didn't have enough. You know, this was my last board, and I was thinking, well, there's no good hanging it here. You might as well get another wall finish. So what I did is I flipped it on its end and I cut it, and then I used, you know, what bits and pieces I had left over. I actually glued it here too, just to seal the corner. There wasn't actually a stud to screw to here because this framework that I've extended out screws into the framework, so there's nothing there. I would have had to have screwed on some blocks of wood onto the stud to be able to screw this on. So what I've done is I've used some liquid nails, and I've just glued that together, and that's solid. That's not going nowhere. So I've just finished it off there for the moment, because obviously that's, like I said, that's all I've got. The roof must be out by a lot. Remember I said here where I did the plaster work where the wardrobe used to be, and I said that someone had cut the supports, I think the battens, I think they call them, and that the roof probably didn't have much support over the last 40 years. Well, it's obviously affected in here too, because I had a gap, like as you can see up there, it's perfect, and none of the board's been cut here. It's all good. The floor's level, but yeah, I had to put a slither in up the top there just to fill the gap. There's the roof, obviously the cornice isn't level, and that's yeah, that's affected it. So but yeah, again, you know, once the tile cement's over it, it's done. What else? The throne. So along with the throne, the vanity pipe has been punched through the wall. So I took the bricks out, so that runs outside. The vanity's actually connected up to the stormwater already, so that's ready to go. But I haven't, just the 90 degree that goes down, I haven't actually glued that in place, because like I said, if I need to adjust at all, I would rather, you know, be able to slip the pipe out of that 90, just that couple of mil should I need to. So yeah, so I've left that for the moment, but you could send water down these two pipes now and it'll go straight into the stormwater. Knocked out the brickwork there. Haven't patched anything in around it because obviously I still need to connect all this properly. There's the mixer, so you see the black and the white cap. Don't pay no attention to the top one because that's a diverter, but it won't actually, when you stand up you don't actually see it. So from here you don't see it, you don't even know it's there. All you'll see is the mixer handle. So I opted to leave this mixer in because I think I mentioned in the last video I actually found a mixer that I bought specifically for this bathroom, but I'd forgotten I'd bought it, so now I have a spare one. But I didn't want to start pulling all the pipe work apart because everything's sealed up and it's not leaking and it's neat and the pipe goes through between all the PEX pipe. Everything's perfect. So I left that and that'll look fine. The shut-off for the bidet, hopefully this isn't too dark, is there. So that hasn't moved. So that's under the toilet bowl as well, or the cistern. I wanted to try and keep the taps under the cistern. And then this one is the actual cistern shut-off tap. So this, when I do tighten everything up properly, put enough Teflon tape on to tighten it up properly, this pipe will actually go, I've got to get it, I think I've got to get a longer one actually, but that'll neatly go in there. That'll neatly go in there. So I actually moved that over too. You can see where I've cut it. I think I had it here somewhere. Yeah, I can feel the screw holes. So I had it here, and I just decided to move it a little closer to the bowl. So I'm happy with that. I had to put another noggin in, obviously, to mount the tank. So just bear with me, guys. I haven't got the screws in yet. I do have the proper screws, but I've just put a long chipboard screw loosely into that hole. I just wanted to make sure that I had it in the right spot and that my screw was going to go into the woodwork. So as you can see, it's all brand new. You'll see a little bit of water in there. There's a little bit of water in the toilet too, and that was from, sorry for the camera work, guys, just put this back on. That was when I drilled through that, and it blasted out across the room. It flooded everything. It flooded the hallway, so the water came in underneath the wall, and it flooded all the carpet here, all the underlay. I had old towels there for days trying to dry it out. So as you can see, I haven't done any plaster work here. This plaster work will get done when, as you know, when the window gets taken out and that wall gets done. So yeah, let me think, is there anything else that I've done? Because like I said, a lot of it's probably hidden behind cement sheet and stuff. Then I just hadn't bothered filming it because it was, you know, let's call it miscellaneous items. But no, that's just a bit of a look, you know, at what I've done. Yeah. The good thing too is I've also got rid of all of my scrap. I keep saying that, you know, every video. Got rid of my scrap, but I did a big building materials shed clean out the other day, and I went through everything, and I pulled stuff out that I'm never ever going to use in this house again, which I know I'll never use again. All my Tasmanian oak architrave, I kept all that because obviously the house has got Tassie oak in it. So yeah, I just cleaned a whole heap of stuff out, made a whole heap of room in the shed, was able to get a whole heap of stuff out of the garage and into the sheds, which was great because none of that stuff should have been in the garage in the first place. So I can actually walk around my garage now, which is fantastic, and I'm finding things that I never even knew I had. So, or I forgot, I knew I had them, it's just been so long since I bought them that I'd forgotten I bought them. And yeah, so yeah, I've got a few things to sell now. I ended up with some, for these vanities, the nice little sump drains that go into the sinks, into the basins. I discovered I have another two. So not only did I find the two sump drains, I found a mixer for the toilet. So I've got all this tapware now. All this brand new tapware in a box that's never been used. So I'm going to try and sell that on Facebook Marketplace and see if I can get anything for it, because I'll never use it. And yeah. Well, guys, I'll leave it at that because I've been rambling on for a while, and hopefully by the next episode, all the cement sheet should be on in here, and I hopefully will have started tiling the walls by then. Now, I've got to get it done because I'm actually, I don't know if you remember the start of, I think it was the start of last year, I cut my thumb off and had it all fixed, and well, I still got nerve pain in it, and I went back and saw the surgeon this morning, and the surgeon said to me, okay, we're going to re-operate. Basically what we're going to do is we're going to completely sever the nerve and you'll have no feeling in your thumb whatsoever. So I said, well, that's great, because, you know, if that means no pain, it's better than feeling what I'm feeling at the moment, which I've been feeling for the last 18 months. So he says I'll have feeling on the underside of the thumb. And he said with any operation, there's always a small chance that something may not work. There's always risks. I'm well aware of that. I've had plenty of surgeries before, but I'm willing to take the risk, because the pain I got in my thumb, I can't deal with that for the rest of my life. But he did say there's a 20% chance that the nerve pain could come back. But he knows what he's got to do now. And my hand therapist also mentioned that operation existed a couple of months ago, but he didn't want to go into details. I think he thought he'd scare me if he told me, but no. I sort of knew that that's what was going to happen, and so I've agreed this morning to go back in and have surgery to try and get rid of the nerve pain and deaden the thumb. And I should hear something in a week's time, and then we'll probably know a surgery date for that. So I've got to get my ass moving on this bathroom and get as much done as I can before I have the operation. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next episode. Cheers.